Hi, thank you for your time today. I'm Brian Hageman, and this presentation was produced for the commissioners at the Arizona Corporation Commission. Today, I'm going to talk about how we can get to 100% clean electricity in Arizona by 2036. I'll be talking about the expansion of the Colorado River clean electric generation capacity by using thermal hydraulics for new baseload power and a Department of Energy funding opportunity that can get us started. Arizona's Colorado River Hydroelectric Dam fleet starts up at Lake Powell with the Glen Canyon Dam that produces 1,296 megawatts. That's nearly 1.3 gigawatts of power coming out of Lake Powell at the Glen Canyon hydroelectric facility. That's as much power as one unit at the Palo Verde nuclear station. Next, down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon is Lake Mead with Hoover Dam, that's huge, 2 gigawatts of power uh, comes out of the Hoover Dam, and then down to Lake Mojave on the Colorado River with Davis Dam that produces 255 megawatts of power, and Lake Havasu has Parker Dam where we generate 120 megawatts of power. If you add up all of these hydroelectric facilities, 3.7 gigawatts, 3,721 megawatts of hydroelectric generation. Palo Verde Nuclear Station has 3.9 gigawatts of power at the nuclear station. That's about the same amount of electricity, clean electricity, that we have here in Arizona. If we were able to keep all this electricity from the hydroelectric facilities and the nuclear facility, we would have 100% clean electricity in Arizona overnight. But like the river water that we have to share with a bunch of other states, we share the electricity coming out of the dams too. I'm proposing that we expand the electric generation facilities at all the dams in Arizona, starting with the Davis Dam, where I want to build a pilot plant, a 250 kW pilot plant next to the dam, and we tie into the electric transmission station that's already in place. That would eliminate the need for any new line siting. The line siting is already in place for all the electric transmission lines. But what we do, instead of using the dam as hydrostatic force going through a turbine with head pressure, we're using the dam as cooling water. There's all this water available rushing out of the dam at the bottom, and that could all be used as cooling water for my technology to generate more electricity from each one of the dams. And let me show you how the pilot plant will look and a little bit more about how my thermal hydraulic engine operates. Okay, so the Lake Mojave stands behind Davis Dam, and as they use water for their hydroelectric facilities and to keep the Colorado River flowing, there's a lot of water that comes out of the bottom of the dam. That water could be used as cooling water for my engines, and that cooling water would go through our pilot plant engine or any of our expanded 50 kW or 50 megawatt engines. All we need to run our engines is a cooling water supply and hot water. The hot water would come from solar thermal or geothermal, solar thermal with the thermal storage in place so we can operate 24 hours a day. To get an idea of how much water comes out of Davis Dam, it's calculated that 2 million gallons per minute comes out of Davis Dam at the bottom of the dam. My engines need about 1,400 gallons per minute per megawatt. So that would make, using hydraulic engines, 1.4 gigawatts of additional power could be produced from Davis Dam. Now, we only plan on doubling the power. That'd be taking it from 255 megawatts up to 5, 10 megawatts. We're planning on using solar thermal with solar thermal storage. We have plenty of it, as the map shows, in the Davis Dam area. In fact, Bullhead City is one of the hottest places in Arizona. But according to the Arizona Geological Survey at University of Arizona, Davis Dam is also in an area that has potential geothermal, and we need to do exploratory wells to find if there's 180, 190 degree geothermal available. If we have it, we'll use that all day. Otherwise, we'll have solar thermal with solar thermal storage so we can operate our systems 24 hours a day, providing base load power that we need to replace coal plants and provide additional baseload power to Arizona. A little bit about how my thermal hydraulic engine works as compared to pneumatics. Pneumatics versus hydraulics is the whole big deal in my engine of the difference. If you have a pneumatic gas in a container and you heat it up from 80 to 180, it does nothing. It won't push a piston, it won't do anything. If you have a hydraulic liquid, any kind of liquid in a closed container in a reservoir, and you heat it from 80 to 180, the liquid expands, pushing a piston with hydraulic force. And in our hydraulic engines, we produce 4 times more torque coming out of our 350 horsepower engine compared to a 350 horsepower internal combustion engine. The difference between hydraulics and pneumatics is huge. The hydraulic force coming out of our pistons makes the big difference in how we can generate power. Another big advantage of the hydraulic engine versus any phase change engine, which is steam engines or ORC engines, the big deal is that we only take 55 calories per gram through our heating cycle, where they take 634 calories per gram for their heating cycle. You need the same amount of calories per gram when you cool it down too, but we end up using 11 and a half times less calories than the phase change engines. That's another big reason why you want to pick hydraulic engines over any phase change. Another important aspect of the hydraulic engine as compared to the phase change engines is that we use a lot less cooling water. We're showing here 70,000 gallons per minute are required for 50 megawatts of power as compared to the other engines that use 320,000 gallons per minute of cooling water. Now, I'm not saying we're using up 70,000 gallons per minute. For every 70,000 gallons of water that comes into our hydraulic system, 70,000 gallons goes out. So we use up 0 water. It just ends up that the water going out is a little bit warmer. But we use 4.5 times less cooling water than the other engines, and that's a big reason why you want to pick a hydraulic engine over any other kind of engine. To get the process started, I've applied for a grant with the Department of Energy. The Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy at the DOE put out a funding opportunity announcement last month for technology innovation to increase hydropower flexibility. So I sent in a grant request for $3.2 million to build the Davis Dam, Bullhead City project. And regardless of how the money comes, we need to make Arizona clean electricity by 2050. I can do it by 2036. The economic and social benefits to Arizona for adding on new electric generation at the dams is high-paid skilled craftsman jobs for Arizona. When I was working at Palo Verde, and I'm using Palo Verde a lot as a comparison, but at Palo Verde, it took us about 10, 12 years to build the 3 units there. And we had as many as 10,000 guys working there, mostly skilled craftsmen, plus some engineers like me, making sure everything was built right. But a lot of high paying jobs will happen through this process. New electric generation can be designated from the dams for Arizona grid only. We can do that, and all the new clean electricity coming out of the dams could be used for Arizona only until we've got enough. And the transition in energy to clean energy, we want it in the shortest time frame. Like I said, we built Palo Verde in 10 to 12 years. I'm seeing the build out of doubling the generation out of the dams in Arizona in about 12 to 15 years. That would take us to 2036. And we'll be able to bring in federal funds in Arizona. Thank you very much for your time today. If you have any questions, please contact me at info@brianhageman.us. Thank you very much for your time.